Alright guys, so this is a review over dividing using the area model. This is in preparation to help you with your test on Wednesday. So with that, I'm going to show you a couple of examples and I'm going to give you a couple to try so you can pause the video and work on those at home. Try them independently or with your parents, and also to help you parents also understand the area model. So our standard for 5th grade is to divide using the area model and partial quotients. Our standard is not to use the standard algorithm. That comes next year. So on the test, they can check their answer using the standard algorithm if they know how to do it. However, that is not what is being tested, and that is not our standard. Our standard is the area model and partial quotients. So this video is going to go over area model, and then there'll be another video that's uploaded that goes over partial quotients. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and jump right in and get started. So if I have the division problem, 637 divided by 15. Alright, so what I need to do first whenever I do the area model is I think of it almost like a brain dump. What multiplication facts do I need to know, or that I could know, that will help me solve this problem? So over here, all the students, they all know I call it the brain dump. So we're just going to brain dump everything that we can think of that might help us solve this problem. And I'm going to take 15 and I'm going to do the multiples of 15. So I know 15 times 1 is 15. But here's the thing. If I know 15 times 1, then I know 15 times 10. Because that's a power of 10. All I have to do is place a 0 behind. If I know 15 times 2 is 30, well, wrong thing. 15 times 2 is 30. Then I know that 15 times 20 is 300. 15 times 3 is 45. If I know 15 times 3 is 45, then I know 15 times 30 is 450. Okay, I'll keep going. 15 times 4 is 60. And if I know 15 times 4, then I know 15 times 40. And that would be 600. All right. Then I'm going to go 15 times 5 is 75. So I know that 15 times 50 is 750. Okay, so that's my brain dump. That's all I know, all I can think of that might help me. So I'm going to have a box over here, the area model. Probably needs to be bigger than this, but we'll see. And I break the area model down into place value. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 637 and break it down into 600, 30, and 7. Now I'm going to look at my brain dump and I'm going to say, okay, well, what times 15 can get me close to 600? Well, if I'm looking over here, I see that 15 times 40 gets me close to 600, because it is 600. So I'm going to put 40 on top. I'm going to take 600, I'm going to write it, and I'm going to subtract. I get a remainder of 0. Now typically if I have a number here, I'm going to take it, I'm going to move it, and I'm going to add it to this number. But I know 30 plus 0 is 30. So what times 15 gives me 30? If I look at my brain dump, 15 times 2 is 30. So I'm going to write my 2 up here. I'm going to write 30. I'm going to subtract, and I'm going to have a remainder of 0. And then I would add it to this over here. But I can't get any smaller because nothing times 15 can give me 7. So I'll have a remainder of 7. So this is a remainder, and I'm going to add these two together. So my answer is 40 remainder 7. All right? So here's another one. Okay, let's do 456 divided by 12. Okay, well, once again, I'm going to start with my brain dump. All right, everything I need to know, or could know, my multiples of 12 that can get me to 456. So I'm going to start with 12 times 1. I know it's 12. If I know 12 times 1, then I know 12 times 10. 12 times 2 is 24. And so I know 12 times 20 is 240. 12 times 3 is 36. So I know that 12 times 30 is 360. 12 times 4 is 48. So I know that 12 times 40 would be 480. I'm going to stop here because 480 is bigger than 456. So I'm going to see if I can solve it using my brain dump and what I already know. So once again, I have my area model here. I'm breaking it down into hundreds, tens, and ones. So I'm going to have 400, 50, and 6. Okay, so, and I'm dividing all of these by 12. So what times 12 gets me close to 400? Well, if I look at my brain dump, I see that 360 is the closest that I have in my brain dump. So I'm just going to use that. So I'm going to say 30. And that's going to be 12 times 30 is 360. I'm going to subtract. 0 minus 0 is 0. I can't take 6 from 0, so I've got to make that a 10, regroup, make this a 3. 10 minus 6 is 4. So I have 40 as a remainder. I'm going to take this 40 right here, and I'm going to move it over to my tens place, and I'm going to add. And I get 90. What times 12 gives me 90? While I'm looking over here at my brain dump, I really don't see anything that gets me close to 90. However, if I know my 12 facts, this is where the trial and error comes in. You want to get at or close to 90. 12 times 5 is 60. 12 times 7 is, 12 times 6 is 72. 12 times 8 is 84. 12 times 9 is 108. So I see that 8 will get me close to 90, and it is 84. I subtract. Can't take 4 from 0, so I make it a 10 and make this an 8, so I regrouped there. 10 minus 4 is 6. 8 minus 8 is nothing. Now I'm going to take this 6, and I'm going to add it to this 6. Now I have a new number to look for. What times 12 gives me 12? 1 does. Then I'm going to, so I know 12 times 12 is 12, or 12 times 1 is 12. I subtract. I get a remainder of 0. That's how you know I'm done. Now I'm going to take these 3 numbers up here at the top, and I'm going to add them together to get my quotient. 30 plus 8 is 38, plus 1 more is 39. So that's my quotient. Okay? So there's 2 examples. I'm going to give you a couple of examples to work. So with that, your first example is 784 divided by 8. Your second example is 912 divided by 12. And then your third example is 874 divided by 19. So you can pause the video here and you can work on these problems using the area model. Okay, but just for time's sake, I am going to do one more example just to help you better understand. So you can go back to that slide or pause me there or wherever you want to do. Or watch this video entirely and then go back and pause. That works too. So the next example I'm going to do, and the last one, is going to be 348 divided by 6. I don't think that was one of the examples I gave. Nope, it was not. Okay. So once again, I'm going to brain dump. I know 6 times 1 is 6. If I know 6 times 1, then I know 6 times 10. That's going to be 60. 6 times 2 is 12. So that means 6 times 20 is 120. 6 times 3 is 18. So that means 6 times 30 is 180. 6 times 4 is 24. So I know 6 times 40 is 240. 6 times 5 is 30. So I know 6 times 50 is 300. 6 times 6 is 36. So 6 times 60 is 360. All right, and I can stop because that's bigger than 348. So once again, I'm going to break it down into my area model using hundreds, tens, and ones. So I've got 300 here, I've got 40 here, I've got 8 here. And I'm dividing all of these by 6. So what times 6 gets me close to 300? Well, I see in my brain dump 50 does. So I'm going to say 50, and I know that's 300. So I'm going to subtract, I'm going to get 0. Once again, if there was a remainder here, I'd add it to the 40, but I know 40 plus 0 is 40. What times 6 gets me close to 40? Well, I look over here at my brain dump, I see 6 does, because that's 36. So I'm going to take 36, I'm going to subtract, I'm going to get 4 left over. Then I'm going to take this 4, and I'm going to add it to this 8. 8 plus 4 is 12. What times 6 gets me to 12? 2 does. So 6 times 12, 6 times 2 is 12. Subtract, I get a remainder of 0, which is what I want. So now I'm going to go back up to the top. I'm going to add these 3 partial quotients. You use partial quotients with area model. And then we'll get our quotient. So 50 plus 6 is 56. Plus 2 more is 57 and 58. So my quotient is 58. Okay? All right. Now you can go back to this previous slide and you can try these on your own. And then there's also some helpful videos on YouTube as well that will help you, as well as Khan Academy. All right? Good luck.